If you don't like the truth, and if you don't like to study facts, you probably should shut this off right now. In fact, stop listening to me. But we do have to understand that the St. Mary's Area School Board doubled down on their failure. First of all, they shouldn't have hired the last superintendent because he wrote a dissertation that is 168 pages long, and he mentions social justice, identity, politics, or DEI over 300 times in 168 pages. So we can assume that he believes what he wrote in his dissertation and accordingly hired a person based upon his principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Let's take a look at this. Her name is Christine Kuhar. Let's look at when she was hired. Here's a graph. Okay? What variable corresponds with failure here? Let's get this straight. This guy said what he was going to do, he did it, and we see the results. Now let's take a look at what happened in Kernsville with the new guy. His district did great. So what does the St. Mary's Area School Board do? Well, they bring him in as number 2. He's still got to answer to the diversity hire. And it's not going to work because it didn't. Kuhar did a horrible job, and she is the single variable. This should be enough to really, really tick you off, because I know I'm Mark Levine ticked off right now. It's no joke, and they're not going to silence me. I don't care. I was born to fight communists. And one of my family members said, "Are you going to die on this hill?" And I said, no, the opposite.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. It sounds pretty good, you know, diversity, who would be against that? Equity, man, that sounds like a lot like equality of opportunity, although it actually means equality of outcome. And that means that everyone ends up in the same place, no matter how hard they work, for example, or how competent they are, which is a hell of a good deal for people who don't work at all and are so incompetent that it's a kind of miracle.
The Democrats are, I would say, willfully blind to the pervasiveness and danger of the radicals that are within their midst. They say, for example, that when someone like Kamala Harris says equity, that all she means is equality of opportunity, which is complete bloody rubbish. She uses a different word. And if she's not smart enough to know the difference, then she's too stupid to be vice president. That's for sure.
Again, and equity isn't equality of opportunity. It's equality of outcome. You know, that was the central dictum of the communist states in the 20th century. It's like, what the hell? How did we get back to that again already? And then the question, of course, is who decides that outcomes are equal, by what means and with what groups? Because you can produce an infinite number of groups of people